Well, this one's a bit left field, isn't it? I didn't expect to sit down and cover a rhythm game, let alone the game being part of the Love Live School Idol project franchise, yet here we are. Today we're going to be looking at Love Live School Idol Paradise for the PlayStation Vita. The game was split into 3 volumes, with each volume representing one of the subunits which ultimately comprises the School Idol group Muse. Please note that the game did not receive an English release, and I played the Japanese version of all 3 games. In this game, the idol group Muse has been formed in order to stop their high school from closing down. The game starts with Muse preparing for a live show, and the game runs you through a brief tutorial on its rhythm mechanics. After you complete the tutorial song, the game's story will really start and is split up into 3 sections, with the contents depending on your performance. The game also features sub-stories, which are little slice of life moments between the girls, with some sub-stories being unique to each version of the game. The game follows Muse as they try to make themselves more well known through handing out posters and flyers while gathering materials to decorate their stage, making a PV or a promotional video, performing at Akihabara Summer Festa, and depending on your performance in the game, holding a live show on an island in the south. As I mentioned before, each volume is based on the 3 subunits of Muse: Planton featuring Honoka, Kotori and Hanayo, BB featuring Maki, Ali and Nico, and Lily White featuring Umi, Nozomi and Rin. Each volume has a few unique songs featuring solo acts of each member in the subunit, as well as a song sung by said subunit. The game also features a couple of DLC songs, such as Muse's first single, Bakuro no Live Kimito no Life, which only sold 434 copies initially and almost ended the franchise before it truly began, and of course the more well-known Snow Halation. But I suppose the question remains, is this game any good? Find out in The Good. I do like the game's mechanics. Outside of pushing and holding buttons to the beat, the game also has live features and stage gimmicks that you can use to increase your score. We'll start off with the stage gimmicks first. When you set up a live show, you normally get to choose the song, costumes and stage to perform on. Alternatively, you can see what members of Muse recommends, though their opinions are questionable at best, and the members available relates to the subunit of the game you're playing. The stages can be modified with different attributes which will play when you press the appropriate face button. One might have bubbles fly behind the girls, another might have stage lights shining or things raining down on them. Each stage gimmick helps build up the opportunity for you to use live features. Live features, depending on the level unlocked, will allow you to trace a symbol on the front screen using one of the girls from the game's subunit. The higher the level, the more complex the symbol is, and at level 3 you can select the whole subunit to either trace out its logo, or the letters LL followed by an exclamation mark. Depending on how well you do this can increase your score as well as your tension gauge. The higher the tension gauge, the better your overall rating, though I'll touch up on that later. The game also features live missions, which has you playing songs with additional challenges, such as getting so many points and having so much tension, to more difficult challenges like having the notes disappearing on you, finishing the song with a certain number in your score, or having the pink and blue inputs reversed. In terms of mechanics, I think this game has it down pat. It also helps that the developers also had a hand in the Hatsune Miku Project Diva games on the PSP. I also appreciate the game's using longer version of the songs as well. Given that my only other point of comparison in terms of video games are the 2 mobile gacha games, it does add to the longevity of the live shows. While the songs aren't full versions, though I think Maki's solo song actually is, it does give you a taste of the extended cuts along with the dances that go with it. The games also mark the debut of the song Shangri-La Shower, which was initially written specifically for it, and the song as well as the costumes used for it is unlocked by obtaining the Paradise ending in the game's story. With that, we've reached the ending of the things I liked about the game, so now we'll discuss what I didn't like in the bad. The game's song library is also one of its limitations. Each volume features 18 songs in total, which sounds like a fair amount until you break it down. 2 songs are DLC, 5 songs are unique to each subunit, comprising of 3 songs which feature each of the individual members of the subunit, 1 song featuring the whole subunit, and a mix of that song, and 11 songs which feature in all 3 games, though 5 of them are mixed versions. If we factor out the 2 DLC songs, over a third of the song library are mixes of existing songs. Given that the game came out in 2014, Muse would have had a pretty sizable library, and the game could have done with a bigger variety of playable songs. Hell, the game could have had a little bit more support by having more songs available as DLC, as you can add songs that Muse releases after the game's release date to have players coming back. though I guess licensing costs may have played a part in what we got. The game doesn't penalise you for failing a song or scoring horribly in it. As a matter of fact, one of the endings for the game actually requires you to do horribly, or well, not even play at all. You can put the Vita down and let the song run its course without doing anything, and the story will continue, though with some changes to the main plot, as the game will end after performing at Akihabara Summer Festa. The tropical ending requires you to actually attempt to clear songs, and I found the best way of getting it is to score excellent up to the start of Akihabara Summer Festa, then doing nothing during it, and then do nothing with the live show on the island. The Paradise ending I got by getting excellent on every single live show and is initially required to unlock Shangri-La Shower. Getting excellent requires you have your tension bar maxed out, as well as a good score, and I found the songs easy throughout the story. Thankfully, you can play more difficult versions of the songs, which are still reasonably easy, though you are locked into the easier difficulty if you let the subunit decide. Some of the game's visuals are a bit jarring. While the stages look nice and are well presented, some of the stage gimmicks look flat, especially with the bubbles. Stage gimmicks also tend to make the game chug, especially when you're performing a song featuring all 9 members of Muse. For a rhythm game where timing is key, having the game slow down is not one of the things you really need. The models of the girls look significantly worse in a song with all 9 of them, as opposed to a subunit song or a solo, and it stands out, especially with the outfits. You can also see the comparison when you use a live feature, as it will cut to one of the girls or the whole subunit, which uses the higher quality models. Of course, we're at a point where the mobile gacha game Love Live School Idol Festival All Stars blows this game out of the water in terms of the quality of the models and assets, but it's unfair to compare a game that came out in 2019 in Japan against this one which came out in 2014, though it certainly shows the major improvements since then. I think with this issue at least, it comes down to the Vita hardware itself. Now that I've gotten this out of the way, it's about time I give the opinion. Love Live School Idol Paradise isn't a terrible game, but it isn't a great game either. However, it is the only Love Live game available that isn't a mobile gacha or match 3 puzzle game, or an arcade game which is just a visually more impressive version of the first mobile gacha game. The game does have good mechanics, and I do like the use of longer versions of the songs, but the game does suffer from a poor song library, a non-existent penalty system, and performance issues, which is important for a rhythm game. If you're a fan of Love Live, or if you just like idols in general, then this game is one to consider. As the game is only in Japanese, it is reasonably import friendly and straightforward once you get the hang of the mechanics. I wouldn't mind seeing another rhythm game using these mechanics, but with updated visuals of the arcade game or School Idol Festival All-Stars for a console, and given that Love Live has expanded with the introduction of Akura's and Nijigasaki High School Idol Club, and with another group on the horizon, there would be a lot more potential for a future game like that. With that though, it's time for my rating. I would give Love Live School Idol Paradise an alpaca out of 10. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next Infinite Backlog review. If you enjoyed today's review, feel free to check out some of our other videos and subscribe for more. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram and our Facebook page. Once again, thank you for watching.